About 1 year ago, I drove the Zeekr 009, the MPV. I drove it on a racetrack. As quickly as what I could in the rain, and it surprised me. Other journalists were shocked by it. Other journalists who have tested cars and who are much better drivers than I am were really genuinely shocked by how good this car was. So anyway, about a year later, I called Zeekr and I said, Zeekr, guys, I really want to test drive a 009. I can't quite afford one. They're $135,000, but will you give me one for a few weeks to drive? My boys would love to have a go in it. They did. They gave me a vehicle. I test drove it. They let me have it for nearly a month. First visit for the Zeekr 009 to Mayfield Gym here in Newcastle. I tried to keep it for longer. I begged them. I said, please, my boys love this car. It's the favorite car they've ever been in. Please give it to me for a bit more time. They said, no, we can't. It was a strange reason that they said they couldn't. But anyway, had to take it back. I was very disappointed because honestly, kids love this car.
Because this car is really big. It can fit all of them.
How many boards have we got in there?
Four,
yeah.
Like, all four of them can fit in there.
Yeah. YouTube's new algorithm means that you're often not getting all of our videos in your feed. There's 7,500. I'm pretty sure you're probably not seeing a lot of them. In the description, there is a link to our newsletter. Click on that and you can get an update every day of all the latest news in the electric car industry. This is literally, it's not just a luxury car, but many people have said they feel like it's like the epitome of just absolute luxury. And it's the only car kids will not fight over the front seat in. You know what it's like as a parent, yeah? Your kids fight over the front seat. And in this car, there's no fighting over the front seat. No one even wants to sit in the front seat. Hello, my friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sam Evans. You're watching the Electric Viking. Now, I test drove this car for about a month, but there's now a newer version, which is much more affordable. It's about $15,000 cheaper, but probably a little bit more than that cheaper because you're going to pay less in luxury tax here in Australia anyway. You can now get this car in front-wheel drive. I drove it with the all-wheel drive, which is insanely fast. It does 0 to 100 in about 4 seconds. You don't really need that in an MPV, and to be honest, the efficiency of this car, it's shaped like a brick essentially. It's not super efficient. It probably, in my experience, used 24 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers of driving. So it's the newer version is front wheel drive and it's 15,000 cheaper, but it's going to be more efficient and it's going to get more range. So first of all, I want to tell you about this new front wheel drive version, which is the one I would be getting. I would never be getting the all-wheel drive because you're not going to take this car off-roading, are you? So I don't think you need the all-wheel drive version. Anyway, the new version is 115,000 Australian dollars. So that's what, about 75,000 US dollars. And it's actually $20,000 less than its pre-existing all-wheel drive version. That makes it a similar price to an LDV MIFA 9 Executive. And this thing is miles better than either a Volkswagen ID Buzz GDX or an LDV MIFA 9. Or to be honest, there's nothing on the market right now in the West anyway that competes with this in terms of luxury and price. For this price, 115,000, it's really good value for money. And that sort of sounds crazy, but this is a big vehicle. It's 5.3 meters long. It's a proper 6-seat or 7 if you want seat vehicle. So now the front wheel drive has less power, of course, but it's still got plenty of power. It's got 250 kilowatt and 373 newton meters of torque. Plus, it's lighter and more efficient. And it has a 116 kilowatt hour battery. So it's the same size battery as the all-wheel drive version, meaning it gets more range. So now it's got 604 kilometers of range, whereas the all-wheel drive version that I test drove has 582 kilometers of range. So 22 kilometers more range. It's going to get you cheaper, slightly cheaper electricity because you're going to get, you're going to go further on the same amount of charging. Okay guys, we're charging here at Charge Fox. It's charging at 117 kilowatt hours. It says kilowatt. It says it can charge it up to 180. and it's $20,000 less. So I think it's a no-brainer. The official energy consumption of the front-wheel drive is 21.4 kilowatt hours per 100. I'm going to guess that's probably fairly accurate. AC charging, it's the same as the all-wheel drive. It's 11 kilowatt. DC charging is 150 kilowatt. AC charging at 11 kilowatt, I think that's fine, but this is probably one of the Achilles heels of this car. The charging speed of 150 kilowatt DC, I think is too slow for a car in this price segment, and for a car that, you know, has a 116 kilowatt hour battery. That's a big battery pack, and it's going to take a while to charge at that charging speed. And I know this because I did a lot of driving in this car. I did several thousand kilometers of driving. I think I did about 4,000 kilometers in total. Anyhow, performance is fine. 0 to 100 is 7.9 seconds. You know, so for a people mover of this size, that's more than fast enough. Interestingly, it's actually got all the same luxury features as the all-drive version that I drove that people just loved. Those rear seats that are captain's chairs. I think that they're like chairs that you sit in first class. Much nicer than business class seats anyway. They have massage, they have ventilation, heating, they have the ability to be 0 degrees, so you can put them back and the front comes up and you can basically sleep in them. They're incredible buttons and buttons for kids to discover what the seats can do. They're really, really awesome. So many different sort of functions enabling you to get the perfect lumbar adjustment. Anyway, the other advantage of this car, right, is the wheels are smaller. So it's got 20-inch wheels on the all-wheel drive that I've tested. The new version has 19-inch wheels, and that's a good thing. The range difference is probably going to be more than the 22 kilometers that Zeekr advertised, considering it's got one less motor and smaller rims. So what are you getting as standard? Well, you're getting dual fixed glass roof panels with power sunshades. There's a 7-seat configuration, 2+2+3. Then there's Napa leather upholstery in stone black. The Napa leather is legit. Very, very comfortable, soft Napa leather. There's ventilated front seats, ventilated massaging second row seats with memory, 10.25-inch digital screen for the driver. There's a 15-inch screen, infotainment screen. There's also wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, a 36-inch augmented reality heads-up display. I've used it. It's good. It's bright enough. And you're probably not going to use the digital screen right in front of you because the heads-up display is spot on. It's got a 30 speakers, right? 3,000 watt, 30 speaker sound system. Probably the best sound system I've ever heard in a car. 30 speakers. I mean, you know, Yamaha sound system. You can see that this is legit, this car, in terms of the sound you're going to get from it. Tri-zone climate control, Century, Child, Pet, Camp, Incognito, and stress relief mode. So the stress relief is pretty cool. You can sit in the seat, it'll massage you, it'll put you into zero gravity position where your body doesn't feel it feels basically weightless. You can put the stress relief mode on it. It basically takes you through this kind of experience of relaxing and calming. The digital screen shows you this sort of stress relief setting. It enables you to just chill and relax. It's got a 50-watt wireless phone charger, an 8.6-litre fridge with cooling and heating, and I used the fridge. In fact, we all used it when we had the car. We put our drinks in there to get them cold. It was fantastic. I love being able to use the fridge. I never used the heating function, but I thought that could be good to be able to keep your food heated in there as well. So the price of this base model is $115,900. The all-wheel drive version is $135,900, and the all-wheel drive 6-seat version is $139,900. And my experience of driving this car, it's very flat on corners, very, very flat. If you've got it in the right settings, if you don't have this car in the right settings and you test drive it and it's actually not in the right settings, you're going to think this car it's not great. Honestly, that's my opinion. If you put this thing in the normal, regular setting, the car actually defaults to this setting all the time, which is a mistake in my opinion from Zeekr. It defaults to the soft, which is just normal drive mode. And in that mode, it is very wafty. You go over bumps and it's like, whoa, like this. The chassis doesn't feel tied down. It feels like it's, I wouldn't say dangerous, but slightly scary at speed. So do not have it in that setting. You put this car in the sport mode. Yeah, in sport mode, it's really flat. It's got air suspension, so it's extremely comfortable, even in sport mode. You don't need to have this car in the regular non-sport setting to be able to feel like it's got really good soft suspension, and it does, but it works properly in sport mode. Anything outside of sport mode is just not right. It's weird. But in sport mode, this is one of the best handling cars I've ever driven. And you'll find that other journalists also said that when they wrote reviews on this car. So I'm not, exaggerating here. It really is. Flat handling going around a corner is fantastic. Suspension. It's just the guys that did the tuning for this at Zeekr. I know Ray was involved with this, and I actually was able to sit in the car with Ray. He made me vomit actually because he's got the world record for drifting, and he was involved in the tuning of this car, and they've done just a phenomenal job. But like I said, put it in sport mode. If the suspension is in soft mode or regular, it doesn't quite work. Now, there's one other thing I'd say that could be improved. This software setting, the car, when you're driving behind another car, sometimes the car will panic and it'll give you this like red screen comes up saying you're going to have a crash, you're going to have a crash. When you're not, the car just thinks you're too close and it's getting dangerous. The way they've tuned that, it's a bit too aggressive. So those are the downsides, I'd say. The DC charging, it's not too bad, but it definitely could be faster. That suspension setting, got to make sure it's in sport. And the red screen alert sometimes can kind of freak you out a bit. You're thinking, oh, I'm not going to, what do you mean I'm not going to crash? There's no problems here. Calm down, car. Now, I think you can turn that setting off in your system settings. No, I think you can turn off that alert telling you you're going to crash when, you still have got a bit of space between you and the car in front of you. All that said, this is a phenomenal car. Absolutely fantastic. Would I own one? Yes. My boys want me to buy this car. Like, Dad, you've got to buy this car. We need this car. And they never say that about anything. They never say, Dad. They're not the kind of kids who come home and go, Dad, I want the latest and greatest. They're not really like that. So for them to say that about this car, it tells you something, doesn't it? Let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.